Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A Michigan man admits to dealing fentanyl in South Dakota. When authorities arrested Jacurri Freeman in August 2022, he was on his way to South Dakota with thousands of fentanyl pills.
Freeman entered a guilty plea yesterday. When he's sentenced, he faces anywhere from 5 to 40 years in federal prison. A 22-year-old Sioux Falls man is in the hospital accused of driving drunk, running a red light, and crashing into a pickup yesterday morning. Sioux Falls police shut down part of the intersection at Marion Road and Madison Street to investigate. Police have not released the driver's name because he is in the hospital and hasn't been arrested.
He was thrown from his car. His injuries include a broken leg and are non-life-threatening. The pickup driver's injuries are minor. The Plankington Volunteer Fire Department is reminding people to wear a seatbelt after a crash yesterday. Officials say it happened Thursday on Interstate 90. Authorities shared these photos from the scene.
You can see a truck hit a bridge with the pillar going into the box of the truck. Most of the cab is off of the truck with debris thrown around. The Plankington Volunteer Fire Department tells us that one person was taken to the hospital.
Now let's get a check of our forecast with meteorologist Scott Munt expecting some blizzard-like conditions out there, Scott.
Oh, definitely. We are looking at that snow, the strong wind, reduced visibilities, mile or less at times, especially in the eastern, southeastern KELOLAND. As we do jump into the snowfall forecast, around 3 to 6 in Sioux Falls. We're approaching 4 Sioux Falls at the moment. We are looking at higher amounts from Yankton, Worthington, and areas to the east and southeast, as we do have the blizzard warning that goes in effect tonight. In eastern and southeastern KELOLAND last through the day tomorrow, as we'll have very strong northwest winds and dangerous wind chills. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Well, as frigid temperatures are starting to set in for southern South Dakota, and they're only going to get colder over the weekend. We sent digital reporter Gracie Terrell out into the cold with a thermometer to see just how cold different surfaces get during the freezing weather.
The temperature of a gas pump was 2 below zero, and a playground set came in at a temp of minus 9.5 degrees. You can see more of the numbers in a KELOLAND.com original online now. Homeless shelters are working to keep people safe from the cold snap. The Union Gospel Mission has cots available to people who just need a warm place to sleep overnight.
The nonprofit also has community health workers who check on people and encourage them to come inside. The mission is in need of hoodies, gloves, beanies, and volunteers. Well, with roads still full of ice and snow, street maintenance crews have been laying down salt and sand throughout Sioux Falls.
Emergency routes received salt, which forms a brine and creates melting. A sand and salt mixture is used in residential areas to help with traction.
We add salt to our sand so it doesn't turn into a big brick. Keeps it from freezing together. Otherwise, sand is a moist product, and that salt just keeps that from freezing up.
Maintenance says they lay about 200 pounds of material per 12 feet of lane mile.
And an unusual burger is getting attention in Sioux Falls with the 11th annual burger battle underway. It's a burger latte.
Creators at the Breaks Coffee Roasting Company says it started as a joke but quickly became a reality as ingredients from local shops started coming in. And it even has a burger garnish.
We get all of our baked goods from Look's Bakehouse. And we approached them. I know they were doing brioche buns for some other restaurants downtown. And we're like, can you make teeny tiny brioche buns? And they're like, absolutely, it would be our pleasure.
The burger battle lattes cost about $6 depending on which one you get. You'll find the Breaks across from the downtown Sioux Falls post office.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right. Well, early morning cameras have shown a lot of snow falling, steady snow, blowing snow, a little bit of that. And this is just the beginning of a blowing snow forecast. Here's a look at radar trends from the overnight. Kind of an expansive area of just steady, light to moderate snow. The pacing here is not extreme, but, you know, just kind of plugging along here. So the Sioux Falls area eclipsing 3 inches in parts of town as of the 7 o'clock hour. And I think that we'll add a little bit more yet before we kind of let the snow subside. And then we bring in the wind. And once the temperature really starts bottoming out tonight with the acceleration of the wind, that's when this ground blizzard begins. And that's for a big portion of southeast Ketherland, including all the real estate there from Chamberlain past Worthington, including Sioux Falls, right smack dab in the middle of that, and into much of the state of Iowa. Blizzard conditions likely. Our storm totals, Sioux Falls around 3 to 6. I think just in the middle of that spectrum looks fine. We're looking at northwest Iowa a little bit more, into southwest Minnesota, where some of the snow trends may linger a bit longer. But no matter what happens here with that, all of it's going to just blend together. Once the wind gets rolling, these drifts will be bigger, and obviously, as the temperature really gets dangerously cold, we've got to pay attention to this. This is a pretty serious situation when you've got this amount of wind coming up with that amount of cold air. 40-mile-an-hour winds with temperatures sub-zero. This is going to yield wind chill values as low as the minus 40s at times this weekend. Probably the worst of it for Sioux Falls will be Sunday morning. But look at that Saturday evening forecast. I mean, that wind is trucking along, and it is going to be just downright nasty to be out and about. So that's our high encouragement. If you don't have to be out, don't be. It's dangerous when we have to deal with those kind of conditions on open roadways. I would expect with the ground blizzard, too, it's not impossible to have interstate closures and those kind of things. That could play a role. We'll see where that goes. But just to give you a heads up here that you don't have to have snow falling to create some pretty dangerous conditions with whiteouts. Look at these wind chill forecasts tonight through tomorrow morning. They're in the minus 30s. East, minus 40 central, even a minus 50 showing up around Buffalo and Sioux Falls in the southeast. It's going to be just downright frigid all day tomorrow into Sunday, even into Monday. I mean, we're not going to get out of this until probably Tuesday. I know Monday doesn't look as bad, but when you're below minus 30 on the wind chill, I don't think you can really tell much of a difference. And so that's kind of where we sit here in a Monday afternoon into early on Tuesday. So that's your story. Bundle up the best you can and just, stay out of the elements. Let's finish things up here. Highs today, single digits above zero for most of us. Not going to be very warm tonight. We're going to call for lows dropping back below zero. Winds 25 to 50 in southeast Ketherland, and that 25 to 50 mile-an-hour wind will be pretty common in the southeast tomorrow with widespread blowing snow and blizzard conditions in rural areas. 7-day forecast, we try to warm up to 17 by Wednesday. That's our optimistic part. And then guess what? By next week, Thursday, maybe Friday, we could have another system on our hands, maybe some more chances of snow. A long way to go to determine how that'll all unpack, but it does look like another chunk of polar air is going to cut loose into the northern plains. And again, we'll deal with that subject as time moves along here. But just to let you know, it's not over yet. It's still looking like a little longer stretch of winter weather. But the break is nice next week there, West River. Check out the details online at ketherland.com.